All right, guys. So I jumped on the PTS and I was able to play some Necromancer today. I put together a Stamina Necromancer build, and I will be sharing this build with you guys later today. So look for it on my channel if you guys are watching this video after the day of release. And man, I loved it. Necro felt really cool to play. It felt very unique, but most importantly, it felt really strong. I want to say this. Necromancer at the moment, I think, is a little bit too strong, and it's not because of, the fact that they have this massive ability kit that just everything's overpowered. I think there's just a handful of skills on the Necromancer that are shining, but I was fortunate enough to actually find some 1vx on the Necromancer, so I hope you guys enjoy this clip. We pick up the first kill there, of course, and we're just going to reset our buffs here. Now, I'm playing a fairly glass cannon Necromancer. I think mostly glass cannon is fair to say. We got a lot of damage on this build, the slime craw, everything, and we're just trying to set the combos here, but the big ability you guys want to look for is the blast bones. When I send the skeleton out, and there you see, we bash this guy. We're going to go for the greatsword ult, try to finish him off with the executioner, and the opponent goes for the blast bones as well, and I have to counter the opposing blast bones with my mist. So if you guys don't know what skill I'm talking about, it's the one that summons that green skeleton, and you can see this other Necromancer up top. He just summoned the skeleton and it charged at me. In my opinion, I think that Blast Bones is too strong. I think both the Magicka and the Stamina morphs of this ability do too much damage, and the Major Defile off the Stam morph and the 70% additional damage off the Mag morph, I think both of these kind of need to be tuned down because they're just doing insane amounts of damage, and then that Major Defile on top, it's kind of overkill. But as you guys can see, we managed to survive. This guy is fairly tanky, so he's not doing a huge amount of damage, but even on his tank build, he's still hitting us for 7 to 10k blast bones if he crits, so massive amounts of damage. He goes for his ultimate there. We roll through it and then go into the mist form. I'm not sure if you can actually dodge that ultimate, and then this guy, we hit him with the Magnum shot, and the Magnum shot stun did something weird, actually pulls him towards us. Try to go for the combo there, but I end up charging into the skeleton, and it explodes in my face. We're yet again just going to reset our buffs and mist around and just kite out this really tanky player here. He came into Cyrodiil on a very tanky build, and it's like nobody here, so I don't know. Maybe he could have gone a little bit more damage, and as you can see here, we're just not doing a lot to him, and he's not doing a lot to us either unless we sit underneath him, so just using our speed. But the Necromancer in general, I thought, had a really cool kit. Here you can see we go for the rally heal into the Purge that the Necromancer has. Now, the Purge on the Necromancer actually costs health to use, and there you see a really tight there. We go for the potion into the rally, and then we're going to purge as we drop off the top here. But the Necromancer Purge actually costs around 2k health to use. Very interesting skill, and I liked it, but it is not like the Templar Purge that you can use to kind of save your life. You need to have enough health in order to use that Purge in order for it to be effective. So that was something that I noted too about the Necromancers, that it had a very cool kit, but it definitely felt unique. It didn't feel like the Templar. I felt like I had to be careful with my Purge as opposed to just whipping it out as often as possible. And here you can see I'm trying to set the combo. The Blast Bones themselves actually have a 2.5 second delay before the skeleton shoots out. So on the build I'm running, we can actually go Blast Bones into Magnum Shot and then Crit Rush on top, and everything should land around the same time. But we're just going to keep fighting this very tanky player. You can actually kill the enemy Blast Bones like you saw there. I blew up his Blast Bones and it did not do damage to me. So that's always an option too, but for the most part, we're going to be using Mist or Block to deal with it. Blast Bones is also blockable. I know I'm talking a lot about one skill, guys, but in my opinion, it is definitely a defining skill of Necromancer, is that summoned skeleton that explodes. And as you guys can see here, both me and this Necro are running the skeleton because it is so good. And the other Necromancer actually goes around the corner here, just doing a little bit of a kite himself as another player comes up here. And yeah, as you guys can guess, pretty much everyone on the PTS is playing a Necromancer. So we're going to be fighting a lot of Necros. And here we get, oh my god, a massive spike on her. But I end up overshooting. Oh no, lots of fall damage. My Wood Elf saving me there. And she actually comes down to the bottom. The Magnum Shot into the Crit Rush. Down she goes. Nice clean combo. And then we're going to stun this guy here, come around the corner, set the Blast Bones on him there, and then roll through him, and then we go for the Greatsword ultimate into the Blast Bones explosion. 13k Blast Bones. Yeah. I am definitely running a damage build for sure, but holy man, Blast Bones does a ton of damage, guys. And there we managed to pick up 2 extra kills. And look at this guy's Blast Bones actually just coming through the wall to hit us. Very, very trolly stuff. And we pretty much just fight this other Necromancer here for a while, but he's just super tanky, so yeah, not really much going to happen in this fight here. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed that 1vx. We have some duels as well on the Necromancer, but I first wanted to showcase some of the stuff that Blast Bones does. Look at how far this thing will chase people. 100 meters of range on the Blast Bones, man. That is absolutely insane that it'll go that distance to chase someone down. And here I have a fight against another Stamina Necromancer who's also running a Glass Cannon Necro too. So we're both really, really high damage. And as you can see, we put a huge burst into him right away, and he responds with his heals. And his Blast Bone comes to us, and we counter with the Mist form. Like I said, it does a lot of damage, and the best counters I could find was Block and Mist. But you have to be really careful. There you see we get a stun on him, and I crit rush into his Blast Bones as he summons it. I kill it, and it explodes, and I actually die right afterwards just from hitting the wrong target with the Blast Bones. So a lot of interesting stuff with the Necromancer. Now, something I did want to say is that you'll notice people's gap closers, they're just teleporting on top of us. That seems to be a bug on the PTS where gap closers work like that. So don't pay too much attention to that. That should be fixed by the time we go live, of course. And there you see, and we see it from my end, just how strong Blast Bones is, man. It does so much damage. In my opinion, these skills definitely need to be tuned down a little bit. I'd like to see maybe a minor defile and a little bit of a damage reduction across the board, and then the Magicka version dealing up to 70% additional damage. I think it'd be good to drop that at least to 40% additional damage. It is so much damage. And I also wanted to showcase another Necro skill that I think is not going to make it to the live server because it's just so strong, and that is the armor. Now, this guy is running the other armor morph that when I used a ranged attack on him, it'll pull me towards him on a 3-second cooldown. And you see in this fight just how much he can do because of that armor. It makes it really hard for me using a bow to even engage with him. And when I want to go for that combo, you can see we get pulled right into his armor. We don't even get the crit rush, and we eat the Blast Bones. So the armor, in my opinion, is going to have to be toned down too. I think that the cooldown on it is way too short, and it just makes it so easy. There you see again, to just completely shut down someone who's using a ranged kit. So that's something that I personally think Necro could be tuned as well. Now, something I did want to say about Necro is that its sustain feels really good. In general, I think Necro has really great base sustain. That's definitely where it kind of excels, and I think that's really good. As you can see here, we're going to just flex our sustain and our mobility a little bit. This guy jumps on top of us, but it's not really the traditional dueling setting because well, we weren't even ready for the fight. But anyway, he's going to chase us a little bit, and you get to see that speed there. Making sure to stay in my Mist form here because he does have Blast Bones, and we don't want to eat that Blast Bone damage. It will absolutely destroy you if they hit you through roll with it. I go for my counter Blast Bones, and he goes into his Colossus ultimate. Now, the Colossus ultimate is one that I think is great, but I actually don't think it's too overpowered. It's very strong, and it adds that max health value. But as you can see, this guy's a fairly squishy build, and even though he has the Colossus up, we're going to hit him with the Blast Bone combo there. There you see the Greatsword ultimate, the Blast Bones go off, and the Executioner, and down he goes. Massive combo to bring that guy down. His ultimate actually went off at the end there and healed him after it went away. And then, of course, I did some fights against Magicka Necromancer as well, and I haven't really got to play around with Magicka Necro, as in I just fought them. I didn't build one myself. Tomorrow, I will be building a Magicka Necromancer, and I'll give you guys more of my opinion. But in general, from what I fought on the Mag Necro, it feels very strong. It has a ton of damage. The Magicka Blast Bones is so freaking strong, and it has great healing power too. The Necro main heal is actually quite good, and as you can see in this fight here, this guy's health just shooting up from that tether on the body as well, and we're just gonna have to use our speed and kite them out. I found against the Magicka Necro more than anything else, I could not fight them up front on this kind of a world build, and this build's definitely not built for upfront fighting or dueling or anything like that, but just in general, I felt like the Magicka Necro just had way better ability to hold its ground than the Stam Necro in general, and I had fought a variety of different builds, and that was just kind of what I thought. But anyway, guys, that is my impressions of the Necromancer early on, mostly the Stamina Necromancer. I will be doing more content for you guys. We'll be taking a look at Magicka Necromancer tomorrow. If you guys enjoyed this video, hit that like button. If you guys are new here, hit that subscribe button. If you guys want to catch this live on Twitch, check out my Twitch channel. A link, of course, is in the description below. And finally, guys, we are sponsored by What the Fast. They're a VPN for gamers. They give me better ping to ESO, and they are totally free to try. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys are looking forward to more, and we will, of course, be uploading the build for you guys tonight. Have a great night, everybody.